Hello everybody, I'm back with you today with another smartwatch review. Today we have the GT4 Pro smartwatch. I'm going to show you what comes out of the box, but I hate unboxing reviews. So after that, I'm going to charge this up and then go away and wear this for multiple days and then come back with my full, fair, and honest review. You get an instruction manual that it's got some oddly placed stickers on it for some reason. Don't know why. Really don't know why, but I guess they're telling us what the app is. Looks like it's going to be RD Fit. That's good news because that's already installed on my phone. You get a magnetically charged charging base station charger. Here is the body of the watch, and this is going to be a nice big watch. It's going to be, I think it looks like it's got a nice big display. Let's get it out of that there. Let me press and hold the button on the bottom right and see if there's any battery life out of the box. I don't see or feel anything happening yet. Let's try the top. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it says hello. So it has some juice out of the box. That will sit on the charger thusly, and it comes with a silicone wristband. That's it. I think this is going to look good on my wrist. I'll let you know though. I'm going to go wear this, like I said, and come back, and you'll get my full thoughts and opinions in just a few seconds through the magic of editing. Alright, so you might notice today is Valentine's Day, February 14th in the US, and while young lovers are waiting in line to get a table at some really nice restaurant so they can eventually sit down and gaze into each other's eyes full of amorous and anticipation, and maybe their heart rates are elevated and they express their feelings for each other, and they wait for a long time for food that's cold. Just keep in mind that's still very exciting, and I'm an old man who's been married for more than 26 years in his basement bringing you a smartwatch review. But seriously, folks, the missus and I have plans for tomorrow, and while all of you are out there waiting in long lines for subpar service and cold food, our big plan is to go out tomorrow night. We've been around the block a few times, and we know that we'll get much better service and much better food tomorrow than we will tonight, and we won't have to fight the crowd. So that's our strategy for Valentine's Day, but we have plans for later. So let's get on with the seriousness of this review. Alright, so I've been wearing this for pretty much a week now, and I have to say, this is one of my favorite looking smartwatches that I've ever tested. I think it's very beautiful. I love the looks of it. I love the silver bezel juxtaposed against the black strap and the black face. It's elegant. It's got one button that sticks out of the side, and then another button that's relatively flush here on the bottom. Absolutely love the looks of this thing. And I have a hunch this is going to be one of my longer reviews. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate right out of the gate the always on display. So you can set the display to stay on for a certain number of seconds, and then once that goes off, you can turn on the always on display. I have these set to minimum settings right now. But the maximum you can set this always on display to is 3 minutes. So keep that in mind. It's not truly an always on display. But after your main display dims, oh, there's the wife. She's on the way home. Let's go dig into this thing. Let's look at some of the settings here first of all. I'm going to swipe down, go into settings. Let's go into the screen off time. Let me bump that all the way up for the purposes of this video review. Let's go to 30 seconds here. Oh, we can go to, let's see what the maximum is here. 50, 55, 60. All right, so it can go 60 seconds, and I lied to you. There is an always on off time. You can say never if you want, and that display will never turn off. So there are two different ways to go about that problem. Let me set this to 60 seconds. And let's just go through some of the features of the watch first. Beautiful display. This is a 360 by 360 pixel resolution, 1.6 inch screen. I like it a lot. There are multiple watch faces as I've kind of been scrolling through here, so you can kind of see some of the defaults. And there are plenty more in the app that you can choose. This one I like a lot. I just like the standard clock look, analog clock. That's pretty cool. And if you look, it's actually got a small digital clock there too. And this one I kind of like because it's sort of a launching pad for most of the main features of the watch. But this will obviously pull in SMS messaging. There's my wife Amy, she's on the way home, so that's kind of cool. And I've been testing with this earlier, sending messages to myself while I test the watch. SMS texting, it'll pull this in from your smartphone when tethered via Bluetooth. It does that fine. There's no sort of quick reply or anything like that from the watch, but you can at least read your text messages. I'm going to swipe. First, let's go through the screens. If we swipe from right to left, here is your your heart rate in beats per minute. I'm going to let this go on the fly so you can see roughly how long this takes. And this will do this continuously during exercises. So there you go. Swipe again, it will pull in weather from your smartphone and give you the next couple days worth of weather forecast so you can, just gaze and see what the weather is now and what it's supposed to be. Your step count, your estimated miles walked, your estimated kilocalorie burn. Here is last night's sleep, deep sleep versus light sleep, and total time. And then you get into your exercise modes. There's not a ton of exercise modes in here, but it's got the basics. Running, walking, football, badminton, tennis, basketball, ping pong, cycling, yoga, skipping, and climbing. Now I'm getting a call. All hell is breaking loose here, folks. Okay, so that's the first reviewer I've ever had an incoming call. It was just a scammer, so I hung up on them quickly, and I'm back to you. So that takes us around the dial. All right. And if we swipe down, we can get into settings. Here are the brightness settings. I have it turned up all the way to as bright as it'll go for the purposes of this review. But even if we turn it all the way down, it's still plenty bright to read. Okay, we can get into the settings. You can choose your dial. All right, I showed you these already. Let's get back. Oh boy, here we go. Things always go a little bit clunky when you're on camera, so swipe down again. Dynamic island, screen off time. There's where you can adjust how long the screen comes on for, your brightness settings, always on display. Again, I'm going to disable that, so we learn two things here. This will keep that clock on for a specified period of time after this main screen goes dim, or you go to your turn off the display setting and set it to never, and it'll stay on forever. Here's your gesture mode. That means flip your wrist or lift your wrist and the display will come on automatically. I always turn that off to save battery life. You can adjust the vibration intensity. When you get notifications and calls, it's got a do not disturb mode. You can set a password, set your language, time settings. It's got NFC, which is near field communication, which is basically, it allows you to have communication and transfer data over a few centimeters. So if you want to store a credit card and use your watch to like tap an NFC payment thing, you can just charge it directly from the watch. You can connect it to your phone. It's got an SOS feature, Bluetooth calling. This works fine, where you can make Bluetooth calls right from the watch, and I will show you that if we swipe up. Actually, if we go to the main screen and press the bottom right screen, that will turn the display off the way I have it set up right now. So I'll hit that top right button to turn it back on. All right, now let's go click this thing twice. And I have a bad habit of when I press this button, I actually spin it a little bit to change watch faces, so that's what's going on here. But you have your call log. If you want to call that number and scam, then go for it. But there's the calls I've made. Dial pad, I've tested this, it works fine. And let's test this in real time. I'm just going to call Westside Boat Shop really quick here. And maybe I'll have to use my finger for this to show you that while you are connected to a call, and let's let this pick up.
Hello, and thank you for calling.
You can adjust the volume of the speaker on the watch and mute the microphone if you so wish. So that's nice when you're connected to a call. This has a built-in speaker and microphone that you can adjust the volume right on the watch. So this works well. You have to be tethered to your phone via Bluetooth. So that's your dial pad. You can set up your calls, and that's kind of all the features here. Let's go back. Sports modes, pedometer, sleep, music. You control the music from your phone, from the watch when tethered via Bluetooth. That heart rate that we talked about. This thing can do blood pressure, and I'm going to press the button here, press the face and let this go so you can see a blood pressure measurement in real time. And this will be my first caveat or disclaimer that this is not a medical device. You should not trust any of these health-related measurements and do not make any medical decisions based on this watch. But it's a feature. It gives you a number, generates a number. For me, I think this number is pretty close, but it's not a medical device. Don't trust it. It will do SPO2, which is blood oxygen saturation. I'll let this go in real time so you can see how long this takes. It doesn't take very long, but this is an indication of the oxygenation in your blood, and you want to establish a baseline. So if this drops, that might indicate some sort of respiratory event going on with you, or maybe sleep apnea or something like that. You can change the style of the menu to sort of the more icon type displays. I like the list view because I like to read what everything is rather than memorizing symbols. Your sports modes, your pedometer, your sleep, that music control. Let's keep going. It's got Siri built in. So voice commands, I don't have Siri, so I don't know that if it works. Here's your calendar. You have access to that. Your weather forecast that it pulls in from your phone. Some breath training. Calculator. You can store a QR code for a business card. It's got a countdown timer, a stopwatch, a find your phone feature, motion tracking to turn on sort of GPS tracking using the location services from your phone during outdoor activities. Connect the phone. You can set an alarm. Female 28-day cycle tracking. You can get into settings here, and I'm going to scroll down to the About page, and you see here it is indeed the Watch 4 Pro model smartwatch. Okay, it's got a compass, and with the compass, it also has an altitude and pressure feature, but you have to calibrate it, and you have to be tethered to your smartphone to take advantage of this. It also does a blood glucose measurement. Again, not a medical device. Don't trust this. But it will generate a number here, and you can track it over time. And I'll talk about how it makes these measurements and if it can do them automatically when I get into the app. So there's that blood glucose measurement, an MET score, there's your atmospheric pressure, and compass. All right, body temperature will also do this, and what it's really doing is measuring your skin temperature and then calculating a body temperature. This seems to be fairly accurate in my estimation. I like this feature, so I'm going to let this finish up, then we're going to go over to the app, and I'll give you my full, final, and honest thoughts. The app here is called RD Fit, and it's a pretty good app. I've shown you this before in some of my other smartwatch reviews, but let's go through it. Here's your sleep tracking, and it just gives you deep sleep, light sleep, and awake times, total time, or what they call all-weather sleep. You can scroll back through the previous days and check your sleep from the previous days. So that's basic, but it's good. Here is your heart rate, tracking over time, and I will show you. I have mine set up to do this every 30 minutes by default automatically. So I will show you more about that when we get into the settings, your sports modes, your blood pressure measurements. Okay, I think it only takes these on demand, but we will verify that in a minute. Blood oxygen saturation, again, the readings for today, and you can scroll back through previous days and see your data. Your temperature, again, you can scroll back through the days, and your blood glucose. And I have this set up to do automatically, and it gives you little ranges of, you know, fasted blood glucose, just your bedtime blood glucose, and kind of tells you what ranges of where it falls and what it should be. Again, not a medical device. Don't trust this. There's no substitute for a finger prick and a regular blood glucose monitor. Smartwatch technology is not there yet. and an MET score that's basically giving you some sort of training data. We can get into the device and look at all the various watch faces and pull in custom dial. We can make a custom dial or pull in defaults. There's plenty in here. You're likely to find one you like. I tried this one for a while and I liked it as well. So you would choose it here, download it to the watch, and then it's one of your options there. You can use the watch as a camera trigger to your phone when tethered via Bluetooth. You can do this to find your device. And what's happening now here off camera, it's chiming and lighting up. So if I misplaced my watch, this would be a way to find it. You can set sedentary reminders, just reminding you to get up and move if you wish. You can set drinking reminders to drink water, and medication reminders. If you take meds at regularly scheduled intervals, this can remind you to take your meds. All right, there's motion, gesture, alarm clocks, screen illumination time. You saw me bump that up to 60 seconds. There it is. Heart rate monitoring. Here's where you can set the time in the morning you wish this to start automatically and when at night you wish it to stop. And then you can choose your frequency in minutes, all right? So you can go a minimum of 10 minutes, and it'll do this on your command. So I'll put that on 60. It'll make those heart rate measurements automatically every 60 minutes between those defined times of the morning and the evening. Same with blood glucose. Start time, ending time throughout the day. You can turn it on to measure automatically and set the frequency of those measurements. And update firmware, weather. This is just the weather that it's just coming from your phone right here. And your contacts. And that's about there. That's about it there. And then you can get into your personal settings and insert some of your details in a step goal. You can put in a business card if you so wish. Settings, permission settings. Here's where you choose what permissions to send over to the watch from your phone, and then you can choose your units, imperial or metric, and your temperature in Fahrenheit or centigrade. There are some video tutorials in here, and that's a pretty good overview of the watch here. You see again the Watch 4 Pro. The app is fairly straightforward, but it's good, and I like the features in the app. It's pretty comprehensive. Let's go back to the watch and get my final thoughts. So this watch has an alloy body. It's got a 230 milliamp hour battery. It's got that simple 2-button design. The back of it is pretty solid, and it's actually got 4 windows here, and if you hit it just right, you will see both green and red diodes come through on these 4 windows at the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions around the center diode. And I like that a lot. And then I believe these are 2, I don't know what these are, these 2 strips here, but they measure something. So it's a nice solid case, alloy body. I'm going to say for the money, and I paid for this with my own money. I bought it from Temu. It's currently selling for $24.48. It's currently the number 19 best-selling smartwatch on Temu. I would say it's an incredible value for that amount of money. It's only IP68 waterproof, so you're not going to go swimming with this or put it under extreme conditions. But it's waterproof enough to stand up to some light exposure to water and rain. You can look at your heart rate, blood pressure, SPO2 on this screen. It does blood glucose. I think this is a great deal for a $25 Bluetooth smart calling smartwatch. I love the looks of it. I love the simplicity of the design. It's pretty elegant looking. It looks good on the wrist. If you're looking for a Bluetooth calling smartwatch with some health features and basic functionality for 25 bucks, this one is very, very hard to beat. I would highly recommend it. If I can grab a link and maybe a discount code, I will drop that below. This channel is primarily about kayaking. I do these smartwatch reviews to monetize my YouTube channel a bit, so that's why I do them. Plus, I have a special passion for these smartwatches. Check me out at davethekayaker.com if you'd like to see my kayaking adventures. Otherwise, stay tuned. I've got some more smartwatch reviews coming your way very, very soon. Happy Valentine's Day Stay safe, be fit, and we'll talk very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching.
When you want an extraordinary racing kayak made in the finest American tradition, or maybe just own a piece of American kayaking history, you want a Westside Boat Shop kayak, now available from davethekayaker.com. Westside Boat Shop kayaks. The tradition continues.